So thank you. Lots of good topics. Great for hear the conversation. Real thankful for the dialogue there. It makes it so much more meaningful. We can continue these conversations throughout the day. After our next speaker, there's going to be a 25-minute break so we can kind of get up and circulate and visit our partners and continue these kind of conversations. I think it'll be a much more productive day for everyone. Some really interesting words and topics kind of came out of that we face all the time when we're talking with folks about their data management strategy. Open, trust, right? Accurate, is it clean, context. A lot of things that are really important, and you can even see by the breakouts that we've established today address on those areas. Our next speaker is Anil Chakravarthy. He's our EVP and our Chief Product Officer. He's been in leadership positions for a greater part of a decade with Informatica and then Symantec before that. He had gotten his degree in computer science and did a couple things along the way, starting at McKinsey, and just happened to end up with a PhD at MIT. So I jokingly like to think that he's a lot of the intelligence behind our intelligent data platform, but he's going to come and talk to you about how the platform and the strategy can address those topics that we just had in conversation. So please welcome Anil to the stage.
Thank you. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. Actually, building the intelligent data platform, we have about 1,300 people in Informatica R&D. So I'm certainly not the intelligence behind the intelligent data platform. We have a lot of very talented people building the platform. My goal today is to spend the next 20, 25 minutes giving you an overview of what you will hear in detail throughout the day. We have a clear point of view on what we believe is required from an enterprise data management perspective. We call it the intelligent data platform. That is our overall architecture for all the products that we bring together. But more importantly, we believe that the products we provide and the platform we provide can help you with some critical solution areas that are required to tackle the challenges of enterprise data management. So let me dive right into that. You see my slides there? Perfect. Okay, thank you. All right. So I'm going to start with a quick overview that lays out the landscape of what we provide and how it fits into the types of initiatives you have, into the types of projects that you're doing. You heard Jim talk about the types of different, do we have the right deck? Maybe not. Well, I'll keep rolling with this. It's supposed to say government imperatives right up at the top. So in terms of the key areas that you address, Jim gave you a number of examples of the types of key objectives that you have as organizations. Achieve your mission, improve decision-making for critical decisions, for being able to serve your citizens and the agencies and internal customers that you have much better. So these are the typical types of imperatives that you have in your agencies. Now, assisting those at the IT level, we typically find that there are 5 kinds of critical initiatives across the government agencies that we work with. Analytics, a big part of that. There are many kinds of analytics platforms that I'll talk about that we can help you put in place and provide to your internal customers. Total customer relationship. That is both your internal customers as well as the citizens that you serve. Application consolidation, which is a big area of focus for a number of agencies as you do data center consolidation, for example, as you look at the numbers of applications that you have, thousands of applications going down to several hundred applications in many cases. This is a huge area of focus for a lot of the agencies that we work with. Cloud modernization, obviously that's a big area of focus within the government, cloud first, FedRAMP, et cetera. And data governance, especially with critical data that can make a huge difference to the missions that you serve. So these are the 5 critical areas where Informatica provides solutions. And the way we typically engage with a lot of customers is the level of the data projects that you see at the bottom. There can be any number of data projects that map onto these critical IT initiatives. For instance, if it's an analytics project, That can involve a data warehouse. It can involve data visualization. It can involve a big data deployment like a Hadoop. It can involve tools like Tableau. So there are a number of different data projects that can support an IT initiative. So that's the way we think of the world. The imperatives that you have as an agency or as a department to achieve your mission. The IT initiatives that you're putting in place, which are typically in these 5 buckets. Obviously, these are categories, and that you have a lot of different specific IT initiatives that you put in place. And then the data projects that support these IT initiatives. So I'll use this framework to illustrate what we are doing today, give you some examples of government customers. You'll hear a lot of different great case studies today, later in the day, of how they're using our technologies to achieve these missions. And then we'll also talk about what our roadmap is. So what are some of the critical cutting-edge technologies that we are developing that you will be using over the next few years. So let me dive right into analytics, hot area. In analytics, we have the critical products that we provide that support this, or data integration, which we are very well known for. Many of you know it as ETL, which is extract, transform, and load. That is the subset of data integration that we have developed and we lead the market in over the last 20 years. Data quality, and the big data edition. Big data edition really supports all of the new Hadoop deployments, for example, as well as some of the new emerging technologies in analytics like NoSQL, like Tableau, et cetera. So if I look at that, our primary goal in analytics is to deliver great data. Jim touched upon this. The way we work is we work with any data source. Now, listed at the bottom, you see the types of data sources that we provide, that we support. It can be anything from the mainframe to the Internet of Things, and anything in between. It could be ERP data sources, custom data warehouses that you have, custom data sources. Any data source that you have, we can support. That is really one of the main differentiators for Informatica. And what we do is collect the data from those data sources and provide a number of capabilities that make that data ready for use in any analytics technology that you choose to have. The analytics market is exploding. We actually look at it as 6 different types of analytics capabilities. It's traditional data warehousing that continues to grow, not only the likes of Teradata, but also all of the database vendors expanding into data warehousing, but also a number of new analytics technologies, like Hadoop, for example, like agile business intelligence like Tableau, or in-memory like HANA, or new columnar databases like Vertica, for example, or Greenplum. Regardless of the type of technology that you choose to deploy, Informatica plays a critical role in getting the right data from the right place, enabling that data to be ready for use in the analytics technologies that you use. We don't provide the analytics technologies. We partner with all of them. And we don't provide the data sources. We, again, partner with anybody or any data source. But we do everything in the middle of getting that data from the right sources and making it ready for use with the analytics platforms that you have. As an example, we've been working with the Defense Logistics Agency for a long time. And their mission is to support the warfighters, and specifically what we think of as the data-centric warfighters. The data-centric warfighters, this is a massive data exercise. This logistical exercise that Jim referred to as one of the case studies involves over 50 million transactions a day, because obviously the warfighters can be just about anywhere in the world. The supplies can be just about anywhere in the world. Making sure you can have the systems in place to get the right supplies, the right materials, the right weapons to the right warfighter at the right time. Those are the key systems they have in place, and Informatica plays a critical role in making that happen. Looking forward, some of the big investments we're making are in the area of Hadoop and the data lake. Many of you may be familiar with the concept of a data lake, the idea being that in the past, analytics was about reporting. You asked for a specific report, and someone in the IT group went off and either hand-coded or built that report along with the business user. And then once that report was defined, it ran on a regular basis, maybe daily, weekly, monthly, and delivered the specific data asked in the report. The world of analytics is changing quite significantly, where now that's not what is demanded by the business user or by your users or within your agencies. What they would like is interactive access to any data they want at any time. And they want to be able to do their own analytics. They want to be able to have their own queries and access the data to get the information they need at any time. And the way that's made possible is through these data lakes. Typically, these data lakes are built on technologies like Hadoop. Our partner Cloudera is here today, and they're a leader in that space. It can also be data sources that are outside Hadoop, so that you have this data in any repository that you have. And on top of that, we are building a number of tool sets that will let typical business users, data analysts, other business users, other non-technical users be able to get access to this data through a series of key technologies that we are building. One technology I'll show in a minute is a user interface that they can use, simple Excel-like user interface that they can use to manipulate data and get it ready for use. And then they can use it with a tool like Tableau or any other visualization tool they want. Another key technology is being able to look for the right data sets. Data is everywhere. How do you make sure you are getting to the trusted data? Somebody asked that question before. You can only be sure you're getting to trusted data if that has actually been curated by somebody else within IT, for example, and posted to a trusted repository. And that's what this intelligent data lake is about. It's the end-to-end user experience of a business user or of a data analyst being able to go through different data sources, collect the data they specifically need, do it interactively, and prepare the data for analytics, and do it all in real time. And that's a product called as the Intelligent Data Lake, and that comes out in the second half of this year. Another key area of focus for us within analytics is our core product called as PowerCenter, which is our main data integration product. And we are investing a lot of effort into the next version of this, which is called as version 10, which again comes out second half of this year. The main themes for us within this product line are, one is agility, giving you the agility to work with any technology capability that you're implementing in your environments. And that can be either on-premise or cloud capabilities. Data quality and data trust embedded into the data flows. With the volume of data that we currently have, quality and trust cannot come as an afterthought. It has to come in the data flows. It has to be actually built into the transformations that you have and the data processes that you have. And that's what this product enables you to do. Being able to deal with all types of data. The world of data is not only about structured data or relational data, it's about now machine data, social data, unstructured data, data from all types. And our platform is being built and extended to handle any data type and to be enterprise ready, to be able to handle data at any scale. That's what the focus of our PowerCenter platform is on. And the last thing I want to mention in the analytics category is this new product that we launched back half of last year called as Informatica Rev. This is the first product that we have built that is directly aimed at the ordinary non-technical user, the business user. The business user or the data analyst who wants to be able to get access to data, prepare the data, and then either make it available for other users to consume, or they can themselves consume it through visualization tools like Tableau. This tool enables our customers to take data from any source they want. For example, if they're using a cloud-based system or a custom application, be able to take that data and then put it together with a very simple interface, but a powerful interface that has all of the capabilities that you typically expect from a data integration tool, an enterprise data integration tool, like, for example, being able to join data, cleanse data, things like that, that typically you could only get through an enterprise tool before, but in an interface that a business user can use. So that's a new product that we launched called as Informatica Rev. So that's what we see as the world of analytics. The shift is from kind of the old world of analytics, where analytics was about reporting. You asked for a specific report, and it went in and got the specific report, to a new world where it's much more interactive. A lot more people have access to analytics. A lot more business users, non-technical users can do their own analytics. And we're building a number of tool sets across our portfolio to be able to make that happen across any data source and across any analytics tool that you choose to use. Let me talk about the second area, which is around total customer relationship. In the commercial world, obviously, this is a big area of focus for. We have leading presence in vertical industries like financial services, healthcare, et cetera, because obviously Everybody needs a 360-degree view of their customer. You as a consumer yourself, if you're dealing with a bank or a healthcare company, et cetera, you want them to know your entire relationship with them. What customer support have they provided you? What products have they sold to you, et cetera, et cetera. That same technology, we've also had a number of government customers use it very successfully to get a view of the customer. The customer could be a citizen, or it could be an internal government, another government customer, or an internal agency that they are working with. Within this area, the key products that we have are master data management, data quality, and our cloud master data management, which we've just renamed as Customer Cloud 360 for Salesforce.com, especially for customers who are using Salesforce a lot. Now, what does this do? What this helps you do is to fuel your apps with clean, safe, and connected data. We go through a number of steps. Again, just as you see with all other Informatica products, we can take data from any source. And as it goes through these layers of data integration, data quality, and master data management, we make sure that you get this complete 360-degree view of any data that you care about. I'll give you an example. Just go straight to the example, and that'll illustrate this. This is an example of a Department of Motor Vehicles in one of our state governments that we serve. Over 4 million drivers, and they have over 60 applications that has data about these drivers and the vehicles that are associated with those drivers. They've used our systems to get a 360-degree view of the driver as well as a vehicle. They can look it up by vehicle, they can look it up by driver, and they're able to associate drivers with vehicles and get a full picture of a driver, for example. So when a citizen shows up at the DMV, they have a full 360-degree view of that citizen's interactions with the DMV. Now, you can think of this across many other sources. Later on in the presentation, I'll talk about the Food and Drug Administration, which is using a similar, the same set of tools for a data governance objective. But you can see a number of use cases where you can take these kinds of tools and implement them for the specific data domains that you care about. A data domain could be a citizen. A data domain could be, for example, in the case of the DMV, a vehicle, and get a full 360-degree view. Going forward, some of the key investments we are making are being able to deploy the master data management toolset in these big data environments around Hadoop. We released a product called as the Big Data Relationship Manager in December last year. And what that product does is enables customers to use Hadoop as a repository. So as you probably know about Hadoop, Hadoop is extremely scalable. So essentially, you can think of these as server farms of commodity servers that you can extend much more cost effectively than a database, for example. So you can have a lot more data that you put into Hadoop. Some of our customers, early customers, for example, an insurance company that's using this, is using our master data management tools with Hadoop to analyze the insurance spending patterns of all citizens in the United States. So over 300 million citizens, about 100 million households. It's not only their customers, but what they think of as their white space, customers that they could sell more to, and what marketing campaigns are effective with those customers. That type of analysis would be nearly impossible to do in a traditional database environment. With a Hadoop environment, that becomes possible, so they can then use their specific data that they already have, as well as third-party data sources. We believe this will be the trend of master data management in the future. Take the master data technologies, but deploy them and run them on a highly parallel, in a highly parallel environment like Hadoop. So I know a lot of government agencies are investing in Hadoop. This is a key piece of technology that will enable you to make sense of the huge amounts of data you have within Hadoop. Another key area we're investing is in MDM-based applications. Again, we built these for the commercial sector, but a number of these have relevance for government agencies as well. Total customer relationship, I already talked about. It may not be a customer in the traditional sense, but it could be a citizen that you support. Another one is total supplier relationship. We have an application which gives a 360-degree view of a supplier. What are we buying from that supplier, or different departments buying from that supplier? I know in the government there are very specific acquisition rules, et cetera. So in order to be able to get a 360-degree view of a supplier, we built an app that can really scale and bring data from multiple sources and provide a 360-degree view. So we've talked about analytics, we've talked about total customer relationship. The third big area that we focus on is application consolidation. In our data integration business, roughly half the data integration business supports customers in application consolidation and other operational initiatives like that. Half of our business is analytics, the other half is in these areas. Application consolidation, virtually every customer I talk to has a huge interest in consolidation simply because of the amount of money that they spend on maintaining legacy applications. Every customer that I talk to says, look, if I could only save 10%, 20% of the money that I spend on legacy applications, I could free up a lot of budget for new initiatives that my internal customers really care about. And we help customers do that. A lot of our customers have successfully used our technologies to be able to reduce their spending on legacy applications so that they can actually free up budget for a number of new areas that their internal customers are asking for. The key technologies we have here, we have a new technology called as the Data Integration Hub that really enables customers to decouple the consuming applications from the source applications so that they can actually make changes separately for the source applications and the consuming applications without a very tightly linked architecture. Often, as you know, reason application consolidation is hard is because the architecture was built with tight coupling. So if you change one thing, many other things change. And so it's really hard to change things. So the first step is through something like the Data Integration Hub to be able to decouple that, and then you can make changes at your own schedule to different applications without impacting other applications. We also have our B2B portfolio of technologies. Our application retirement technologies are built around data archiving, as well as our PowerCenter data integration flagship platform. So let me talk a little bit about how application consolidation works. We can help customers with the entire lifecycle of application consolidation. Application consolidation is not only about implementing new applications, it's about maintaining both the new and the old applications. And then once you've taken the data off of the old application and you have the new application fully operational, being able to retire the old application. Now, we have tool sets that enable customers at each stage of this life cycle. As an example, a major bank has about 15, or when they started, had about 1,500 applications. They moved to about 400 applications. They chose about 400 applications. Some of those were on-premise, some of those were cloud-based. And over a period of 5 years, reduced their application portfolio from about 1,500 applications to 400 applications. And the way they're able to do that is, first of all, start with an approach to decoupling their architecture by putting in place new tools that can let them change applications at their own pace without impacting other applications. Then consolidating the application functionality into new applications, getting new users, new data onto the new application, while keeping both running. And then once the new applications are fully operational, they retire the old application. So we've had a lot of customers, both in the government and in the commercial sector, drive significant savings in maintaining their legacy applications and free up budget for new applications by using our technologies. Talk about the fourth area, which is cloud modernization. Cloud is obviously a huge topic within the government, and rightly so, because it has the promise of both delivering better functionality at a lower cost to your internal customers as well as to citizens. And we believe at Informatica, we are really well positioned to help government customers with that. The reason for that is we are hybrid. Our technologies work on-premise within your current data centers. They work with cloud vendors like Amazon or Salesforce, and we have the leading position working with all of those cloud vendors. We can also work in hybrid fashion, where you may have a system where some applications are running on-premise and some are running in the cloud, and they need to work together seamlessly. We have all three configurations, and we believe we are pretty much the only vendor in the market of enterprise data management that can really provide that in a consistent and comprehensive manner. And here our products are cloud integration, and in a later session when you attend today, you will see where we stand with respect to, for example, Gartner Magic Quadrants and things like that, where we're clearly the leader in this space. The cloud master data management, as well as technologies for doing things like data masking in the cloud. So for example, if you have data in Salesforce.com and you want to take a subset of that data and make it available to developers, being able to do that seamlessly, so you can actually take the subset of data, but you can also mask it so that you're not providing the real data to your developer. For example, if it's an outsourced development contractor, you don't want to provide the real data. Being able to do that, we have technologies called cloud masking that let us do that. So the typical life cycle of the cloud that we see, and we have tool sets that go through each stage of the cloud journey. Usually it starts with, we believe the cloud systems either are cloud to cloud, where, for example, you're using Salesforce as your customer relationship management system, and say Amazon as your platform as a service for any custom applications that you've built. That's a cloud to cloud use case. Or a cloud to ground use case, where you're starting to use certain systems in the cloud. Maybe you have a philosophy of putting new applications in the cloud, but all the existing applications are in your current on-premise data center. So those are the two typical integration patterns that we see. Now, we have the tool sets that can do the integration, but we also do the integration in a manner that enables you to do all of the other value-added data services that you see within the circle to the right. So typically, the journey starts with data migration. So let's say you had an old CRM system on-premise, and you're now saying, I want to move to a new CRM system which is in the cloud. That starts with a one-time data migration, where all of your older data is moved. You still have the old application available for reporting purposes, legacy purposes, but all new transactions are happening in the cloud application. That then typically leads to things like cloud analytics, for example. With Salesforce.com, where we are the leading provider, we have done thousands of these migrations from on-premise systems to Salesforce, and we have partnered with them around the cloud analytics that they call as Wave, which is a new analytics platform that they announced at their Dreamforce conference. And then it can be other parts of the cloud journey, like for example, Cloud MDM gives you a 360-degree view. Suppose you have multiple Salesforce instances, being able to get a single view across those instances. The other type of journey also involves the cloud to ground, which is where you need to keep both systems in sync because you have existing applications in your on-premise and you have new applications in the cloud. That typically involves data synchronization and replication, ongoing data quality and validation, and cloud process automation. So for example, if you have a workflow across systems that cut across both the cloud and on-premise, being able to handle the workflow, application integration, process integration, and data integration within a single system. Those are the types of capabilities we provide, a very rich set of capabilities in the cloud that work both in a pure cloud environment as well as a hybrid environment. So you will hear a lot more about that in the breakout session today. And we are continuing to invest a lot in the cloud. Our main advantage in the cloud is we have a single architecture, this intelligent data platform architecture, that works both on-premise and in the cloud. So for example, any of you who are existing Informatica customers, any work that you have done in the past in terms of data integration, defining your mappings, or defining your business logic, etc., all of that can be repurposed in the cloud. That is a very unique differentiator for us compared to what else is out there in the market. And we intend to carry that differentiator across our entire cloud roadmap. In addition, we are expanding really rapidly across all the major cloud ecosystems. One advantage of being Informatica is because we're not part of a big stack vendor, we don't have a bias towards one cloud vendor or another. We work with all the leading vendors, with, for example, Salesforce.com, with Amazon, with Microsoft Azure. So we don't have a bias towards one or the other. We work very well with any major on-premise application as well as any major cloud ecosystem. And those are part of the key themes that we have in our cloud development roadmap. Let me touch on the last area now, which is around data governance. And I know that's a huge area of focus within the public sector. In data governance, the key products that we have that support it are data quality, our master data management portfolio, as well as the portfolio of tools that we have around data masking, data archiving, test data management. All of these products help make data governance possible. If we think of what data governance really means, it starts with, for us, defining the key rules for data governance within the context of your specific mission, your specific data sets, your specific applications. This has become a lot harder. In the past, data governance was basically a checklist. People could say, hey, look, I'm just going to define a set of rules, and I'm going to say, as long as I'm following a process, I'm fine. That has really changed, because most audits right now, when they have data governance audits, they want to go down to the transaction level and see if your transactions actually conform to your data governance rules. And then from the transactions, they want to understand the lineage. These were your source systems. Okay, your transactions are conform to your data governance rules. Now, where did that data go? And what happened to that data as it went to a new system? For example, were two different data sets taken and transformed in a certain way? How was that transformation applied? Did that conform to your data governance rules and regulations? And then the next step is, where was the data consumed? And did that conform to your data governance? So it has moved from a kind of a checklist approach to now you need to have data governance embedded into your data processes. And that's what we enable with our tool sets. So discovery is about data, identifying where your key data is and profiling that data. Is it sensitive data? What type of data is it? What type of data rules apply to it? Defining what you want as key data terms. You cannot do this for all data. It's impossible. You have to start and approach it from a business perspective and say, these are critical elements of data that we really want to govern. And then the application has to be automated. Business users working with IT define these key data terms and the rules that you need for conformance, and that has to be embedded into the data processes. And then, in order to make sure that you are actually applying these data rules and you're in conformance, measurement and monitoring tools. And that's what we provide as part of our toolkit. Let me give you an example. This is the Food and Drug Administration, which has been a long-term user of several Informatica products. One of the things they've done is taken our tool sets like master data management and use them to understand and get a 360-degree view of data for specific drugs, for specific compounds, and then for specific production facilities. And that gives them the data governance they need. For instance, for example, if they believe that a specific compound or ingredient has a potential public health issue, they can then identify really quickly where is it produced, how many producers do we have, which drugs is it used with, and what will be the impact if, for example, one of those production facilities is temporarily shut down. That analysis is something that's made possible by the tool sets that we provide, has huge benefits, obviously, for public health and helps them achieve their mission. In this specific area, a huge innovation that we are pioneering and we will be launching second half of this year is something called as the Live Data Map. The Live Data Map is about metadata. And I know metadata can be a loaded term. What we specifically mean by metadata is data about the specific data you have in your databases. For instance, if you have databases with, say, hundreds of tables, in each table, what are the column headers? What types of information do you store in each of the column headers? What type of data is actually stored there? Is it sensitive data? Is it social security numbers, for example? Or is it personally identifiable information of other kinds? Is it PHI? Things like that that we can actually identify. Now, we bring that not only from any repositories Informatica provides. The real competitive advantage that Informatica has is we can do it with any data source that we have. We can go crawl the metadata that you have available. We can also, if you don't have metadata available, we can go to the source databases and gather this metadata through our profiling tools. We then bring it together into what we call as this live data map. Obviously, this is not a one-time exercise. You're introducing new databases, schemas are changing, new applications are being brought on board. So this has to happen on a continuous basis. And this live data map can then be used for a number of different purposes. And I'll show you one in a second from a security perspective what this can be used for. It's also a great asset for enabling business users to be able to access trusted data directly. Because if someone, say, for example, within an agency says, I would like to get authoritative data sets that relate to citizens, specific activities we have with citizens in our agency. Well, there could be a number of different data sources, but through a live data map type of approach, IT can say, these 3 sources are the authoritative data sources. Everything else, we can't really say that they are authoritative. So the live data map then, when it returns results, only returns those 3 data sets that are actually indicated by IT as authoritative data sets. Goes a long way to being able to make these self-service kinds of analytics as well as data governance possible. The new application we have for this is a product called a Secured Source, which we just launched at the RSA conference earlier this week in San Francisco, and will be GAing at the end of this month. The Secured Source product really brings a new approach to security, data security. In the past, security has been focused a lot on infrastructure security, network, endpoint, mobile devices, etc. That kind of security is an indirect way of protecting what you really care about, which is protecting the data. Nobody reports really a breach of an endpoint. But if there's a data breach involving hundreds or millions of records, that is interesting and that is something worth reporting. So one of the main things that we have done as the data company is to say, why don't we address that problem head on? We will address the problem of data security, especially around structured data, relational data, which is databases, typically involved in databases, and those databases could be any kind of platform. And that's what this new product does, called as data-centric security. Secured Source enables you to profile, use the profiling tools, the discovery tools, the live data map that Informatica has built. We built all of these tools, and a lot of our customers for the last 20 years have used these tools for data integration and data quality. The same knowledge can be used from a security perspective now, so that you can then say, where is sensitive data within my environment? Which databases or which data warehouses or data marts are storing social security numbers? If you identify a sensitive data, for example, you say, look, these are critical, this is critical data about, let's say, the drugs, for example, that we talked about. Where is that data traveling to within my environment? All of those kinds of questions is really what Secured Source helps you visualize. And then after the visualization, you can use a number of different security controls to be able to enforce your data security. So with that, let me close with this intelligent data platform. This is our architecture that brings all of this together. Obviously, we have touched upon a number of different types of initiatives that we support with our intelligent data platform. One reason we are proud of this is because we have a versatile platform that can help customers with many different types of data-driven initiatives. And obviously, these days, virtually every big IT initiative is a data-driven initiative. So if you look across these 5 major types, which is where our customers tend to use our products, we believe that none of our customers really have the money, the time, the expertise to build separate architectures for these types of platforms. And even if you did, that would then become data silos. That would not be the kind of architecture that you really want. That's the problem that the intelligent data platform solves, is one architecture that's built around our technology called as the Vibe engine. The Vibe engine is a data abstraction layer that enables these kinds of business logic to be run on any platform, from the mainframe all the way now to the Internet of Things. That data abstraction layer is our key platform advantage. And then we have built a set of tools that are flexible, that are versatile to support different data-driven initiatives. So that's really what we call as the intelligent data platform. We announced that last year. We are now well on our way this year. In about a couple of weeks at Informatica World, which is our flagship conference, we'll announce the updates and the new releases that we've made on the intelligent data platform. And we believe that this architecture enables our customers to really get the most out of their data. With that, let me stop there, and I don't know if we have time for questions. If not, I'll turn it back to Monique to
We do have time for questions. Thank you.
You mentioned, I'm not sure if I understand you, but do you have a SIEM tool for data security?
Do we have a SIM tool?
Yeah, for data security,
We are
which
built,
which is separate from a SIEM tool for network security?
correct. So the SIM tools have been focused on the network security layer. We use that as an analogy to what we are building in data security. Today, there's no SIM tool available in the data security world. The new product that we are announcing, called Secure at Source, creates a new market or a new category around data security, which is very similar to what a SIM tool does. Gets data from multiple sources, helps you discover where your key data security vulnerabilities are, and then just like with the SIM tool, you could use an IDS kind of device or other devices to do the security controls or firewall. You can use data security controls, like for example, a database firewall like an Imperva or an encryption or our own data masking tools, a number of other follow-on security, data security controls. So we're using that as an analogy to show what we are creating in the data security space.
Thank you.
Any other questions? We got a lot of brain power up there. Don't let this time pass. Any other questions? Okay, one back here. Great, thanks.
As we look at sensors and the proliferation of sensors, are you looking at ways of prioritizing what data you look at?
Yes. So that's why we have this metadata-driven approach. As you said, the sensors market, or broadly referred to as the Internet of Things market, there's a lot of data collection that's already happening. I'll give you an example right now, which is United Technologies, which is a customer of ours. One of the great examples they've built, which is an operational system around being able to take data from jet engines. They have contracts with their customers, which are the airlines, which basically is a shared risk contract. So as long as the engines maintain their uptime, they make money. If the engines go down, especially if they go down for unplanned maintenance, they don't make money. So in order to be able to do that, what they've done is they've obviously instrumented the jet engines. After each flight, they take the data from the engine, the sensor data comes in. They then bring that into the power center environment, which is our platform. They correlate that with the different types of contracts they have with their customers. So depending on the contracts, depending on the data that they're getting from the engines, they apply a number of transformations to either classify the data they're getting into, oh, this is a red alert state, needs immediate attention. This is kind of a yellow, need to keep our eye on it, or this is a green, just archive it. They're able to do that with the platform they have and then correlate it with the types of lease contracts, other contracts that they have with those airlines. So they know what data they need to send to their aviation operations center. So we think that's a kind of a great example of what's coming. Being able to take a lot of different types of sensor data or machine data, being able to use metadata to identify red, green, yellow, and then being able to correlate that with structured data. So that's the kind of approach we think will happen a lot with all kinds of customers.
Okay, making my way over. And just to let you guys know, all these presentations will be posted on the microsite, informatica.govsummit.com, so you will be able to access all these.
You mentioned at the beginning about your analytics and decoupling the applications. Can you explain that a little bit more? And are you talking specifically the data?
Yes. So we have introduced a product called as the Data Integration Hub. A lot of our customers are starting to use that in especially ERP environments. As an example, big customer, multinational company, which has about 50 instances of SAP ERP. Part of their issue in the past has been how the data is distributed from the ERP applications to their different warehousing and to the other analytics applications. Very tightly coupled architecture. They've used this product to say, because they were using our data integration tools, and this product is completely compatible with the data integration tools they've used, instead of taking the data directly from the ERP systems into the analytics systems, they take it from the ERP system to this data integration hub. So the new hub essentially follows a publish-subscribe type of mechanism for batch data. So The ERP system publishes the data to the data integration hub, and then the analytics systems are subscribing now to the hub. So the architecture has now been decoupled as they've consolidated their ERP instances, for example. They don't have to change every analytic application that uses it. They change the one link to the hub, and then the hub, the analytics, similar on the analytics side, as they introduce new analytics technologies, it goes to the hub. It doesn't go to each ERP instance. So that's the example that we were sharing.
Excellent. How about one more? Anyone? Am I missing? Okay, great.
I had a question. I'd like your opinion on one of the challenges I'm facing is speed to market, standing up a architecture. I was curious on your opinion on federated versus non-federated architecture, and if your products are more advantageous to one or the other.
And for what kind of end user application, or what kind?
Financial, manpower, personnel, keeping things separate versus putting it all in a warehouse to access the data.
Yeah. So we actually will cover a lot of that kind of, if you have a chance to attend the tracks, I would suggest attending the master data management track, where we have precisely for those kinds of applications. Essentially, the short answer is that enables you to build a federated architecture. So you can still rely on the same data sources, but the master data management will give you essentially different views of data from different sources, and then you can build apps based on what you built into the master data management.
Thank you.
Excellent. How about a round of applause for Anil? Thank you, Anil. Okay, for those that have Fitbits or tracking your steps, we're going to allow you to get up and stretch your legs, okay? We have coffee and I think some snack bars and stuff out there. So please feel free to take a break, and we'll chime you in the next 20 minutes to come back in. So thank you.